Shalom. In honor of Sukkot today, we will flow into the spelling of the 4 organic species that we use in order to shake within the heart and to reach into the world. And so I invite you to sit in the Sukhasana pose, your legs crossed, spine lengthened, and we can close our eyes for a moment and begin to notice the movement of our breath as we inhale and exhale from the nose. Each exhalation, allow it to draw yourself deeper into the body, connecting to the energy underneath us. And as you inhale, lift and expand your spine like a lulav, connecting to the energy of the heart and reaching toward the top of your head. So we root ourselves into the energy that sits above us. As we exhale, visualize how the body is surrounded by the walls of the Sukkah, that we are always protected spiritually, that there is a guiding light that follows us and that takes us into the path of life as we breeze through into the direction that we choose to cultivate in this body, in this lifetime. And so whenever you're ready, let's bring our hands into the third eye, give it a little rub so the visual can be there and the connection can be deepened. And then bringing our hands into our heart, remembering, like the etrog, the heart is there to shine within us, to bring this pleasant fragrance of the action of the heart, and to motivate and inspire us to be filled with so much love and positiveness. And so whenever you're ready, let's join into a child pose. Bringing your hips over your heels and lengthening your spine, stretching your arms, melting over to the ground, and becoming a small seed. And visualize your seed through all its potential and how it can grow into a magnificent tree. And today we will grow into the Lulav. And on an inhale, let's begin to round the body into table. And the table in Kabbalah Yoga is the letter Tav. And Tav is about teshuvah. It is about returning to the source. So let's return to the child. Always returning to the inner child, never losing the smile, the usefulness, creativity within. And again, rounding into the table. Arching, inhaling, rounding. Exhaling, inhaling, rounding. Exhaling, coming into the child. And from the child, let's go ahead and come into downward facing dog. As we press our hands and heels to the ground, lengthening with the spine, melting the heart to the girth, hips into the sky, bending the knees one at a time as we stretch out the hamstrings, the calf muscles. And then smoothly, let's begin to walk towards the front of the mat. As we inhale and lengthen out, and then exhale, folding, grabbing the legs, coming into a standing letter Yud. Allow this pose to be a contemplative one, a reminder of the power within to draw inward and to be a light to yourself and to your surroundings. On an exhalation, release, and one vertebrae at a time. Coming into standing. And so the first word that we will cultivate is the word Lulav. And the Lulav itself, since it incorporates the standing Tadasanas with the Lamed, stretched arms, is going to be our salutations today as we flow into the Etrog, the Hadassim, the Aravot, finishing with the Sukkah flow. So on an inhale, reach into the sky, Lamed. The exhalation will be to come into modified Lamed, since there are two Lameds in the Lulav. On an inhale, lifting up, releasing the fingers, Lamed. Lamed takes Vav into Tadasana, the alignment of the energy inside and outside. From the Vav, let's inhale high, exhale flowing to the earth. On an inhale, lifting your heart and walking the right foot to the back into a lunge. Rounding and squeezing inside, and then exhale, releasing. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, letting go, lifting the body, exhaling, bring your knee to the ground, and let's come into the letter Bet, the crescent moon, reaching into the sky, hips low, scooping the tailbone, lengthening with your spine into the sky, and then exhaling, fingers to the ground. Let's stretch out the left leg as we press into our fingers and release the foot, passing through the top. We can be reminded of the tshuva, of the returning to the source, into the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to the ground, rounding the spine. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, opening your heart. Exhale, round your spine, and go ahead and curl your toes, meeting up in downward facing dog. The letter Chaf as we re-stretch the left to the sky. Exhaling, foot comes forward, lowering the right knee, returning to the Bet for the Lulav, stretching the arms like a Lulav, reaching into the sky. Exhaling, fingers to the ground, right hand behind your head. And then exhaling, swooshing your hand to the ground as we swoosh with the left behind the head. Exhale, folding and stretching out to the open. Inhaling, behind the head. And then exhaling, let's bring our hands or elbows to the ground as we connect to the energy underneath us, thinking that your mat is a platform, the earth where the seeds of the heart can blossom. And so as we lift up, let's release and coming forward as we exhale and fold. Inhaling, lifting up the heart, reaching for the sky, bringing the sky into the mind, to the heart. I'm just going to move this microphone. Distractive. Connecting it to my t-shirt. There we go. Awesome. So moving forward into the opposite side, Lamed. Exhale, folding, clasping the fingers, Lamed variation. Inhaling, lifting up, releasing, touching the sky into our Lamed. Exhale, folding to the earth. Inhale, lift up your heart. Exhale, walk now the left foot to the back, coming into a lunge. Rounding and squeezing into the core. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, rounding the spine. Exhaling, bring your knee to the earth, scooping the tailbone. Inhale, stretching your arms, lengthening the spine, coming into the letter Bet. And then exhaling, fingers to the ground. Let's stretch out the right leg as we fold, lengthening with the spine. Then releasing your foot as you touch the sky with your sole. Exhale, bring your knee into your heart. Exhale, touch the sky. Exhale, one more time, touching the sky. Knee comes to the earth. Let's round into our teshuvah. And the rounding reminds us that we need to search inward in order to complete ourselves and to grow from the outside to the inside, from the inside to the outside. And so let's come into downward facing. And again, this time reaching with the right leg. High, exhaling. Foot comes forward. Coming back into the letter bet, into the sky. Exhaling, releasing, right fingers to the earth, left hand behind you. Exhale, release, plant your left hand as the right hand comes to the back, swaying with the arm, reaching out onto the open space. As we exhale, bring either your fingers or your elbows to the ground, folding your heart, connecting to the energy surrounding you, keeping it long and light in your body. And smoothly as we lift up, let's come back to the front of the mat as we grab for the legs, lengthening to the earth, smoothly lifting up one vertebrae at a time, reaching for the lamed, and from the lamed, let's come back into the heart for the vav. So this is your lulav. And from the lulav, let's move into the next word, the etrog. So reaching into the sky, exhaling, folding, inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhale, walk your feet to the back, and we're going to end up meeting in a table because the table, the tav, is in the etrog. Inhaling, opening the heart, exhaling, drawing into the heart. Inhaling, returning, exhaling, drawing inward, into the child, into the vibe that allows you to be inspired and growing from a place of positiveness. So slowly curling our toes, coming into downward facing, moving into the next letter of the etrog, the letter aleph. Let's begin with the right leg reaching high, bending the knee, opening the hip. Come on to the outer edge of your left foot and into a side angle aleph. Smoothly walking the foot forward, and the left foot should come in a bit so that the hips are square and we can grow into the gimel, reaching with the fingers into the sky. On an inhale, lift up your heart, and then releasing your hands, touching the sky, hands behind the head for the gimel. From the gimel, let's release the left foot and take it into the aleph, the warrior two pose. Inhale, dancing into the aleph, and let your aleph now become a lulav arm swaying into all directions so that the heart energy expands itself. Opening into the aleph, exhale, side aleph. I like to call Rashi's aleph as we stretch forward. Exhaling, inhaling high, exhaling to the earth with your fingers as you stretch with the left arm. Now move the hips to the back, keep the arm into the sky, spread your fingers, connect to the energy above you. And then on an exhalation, bringing our hands to the ground, we're moving into a reish, the reish pose, swooshing towards the ground, towards the ground. Let's turn it to the opposite side. The reish to the ground. Coming into downward facing, leading us to the tav. Let's come back to tshuva. And the returning that's fulfilled during the celebration of Sukkot has to be in a way of joy, in a way of simcha, returning to the source. Smoothly coming into downward facing chaf, pressing into the right foot on an inhale, lift up your left, coming into a side angle warrior 2. And then on an exhale, foot comes forward, walking the right foot in a touch so that the hips are now squared, preparing for the gimel pose as we stretch the arms and touch the sky. And on an inhale, lifting up the gimel, releasing the hands behind the head, connecting to the concept of the gimel, which is all about reaching out and connecting with those who need us, with those that we need, with the Creator, with the universe, with the world at large. And from the gimel, moving into the aleph, pressing into the left foot. Inhale, lift up the right, bring it to the back, foot pivoted, lengthening with the arms, and then dancing into the sky, feeling the sway, Lulav, into all directions of peace and love. Exhale, elbow to thigh, reaching with the right arm, left arm to the back, swooshing forward to the ground, reaching into the sky, triangular aleph, and then on an exhale, fingers to the ground, releasing and coming into a reish. Reish. Exhaling back into the yoke. Stretch our arms toward the back and connecting to the energy within, to the etrog that we form through our body. Realizing like the etrog is a hadar, it's a beautiful fruit. And so we can think of our heart as being a beautiful, beautiful organ full of energy. We're going to come into the hadassim, the myrtle organic species, as we round and come into downward facing. Inhaling, right leg comes high, hip open, knee bent. Exhaling, comes forward. On an inhale, rise and pass through the warrior 1 as we reach into the hasta pose, which is the letter Hey. Pressing into the right foot, inhale, lifting, and then opening out to the side as we stretch with the right arm to the side or into the sky, you choose. Now, if you want to do more in the pose, you can put and open out wide. Exhalation will be to move into the dalet, the balancing pose. From the balancing pose, we're moving into a dancer. For the samech, Oppa. Samech comes to the ground, then releasing foot, grabbing for the toes, lifting the heart, and then exhale. Let's fold. Let's fold. Inhale, Mem Sufi. Exhale, Yud. Inhale, lift your heart, press into the ground, walk your feet to the back. Let's meet up in a downward facing dog pose. You can come into plank, which is the Chaf Sofit. Exhale, Chaf to the ground. Open heart. Exhale into child. Come into a few rounds of the table, the tav, the pose that returns us to the child. Then meeting up in a downward facing dog. The letter Chaf. On an inhale, stretch your left leg, opening up the hip, bending the knee. Exhaling, foot comes forward. Inhaling, passing through the warrior one. Pressing into the ground, lengthening and touching the sky with our fingertips. And bringing the hands into the heart as we move into the letter Hey, lifting the right knee to the side, or your choice is to grab for your foot. Back, and then opening up. Releasing into Dalit, flying through wisdom. From the wisdom, let's grab for our foot into the dancer, the letter Samech. From the Samech, coming to the ground, releasing the foot, grabbing the big toes, lifting the heart for the Mem Sufit, and then exhaling, Yud, drawing all of this energy inward. On an inhale, lifting the heart, and then releasing the toes, coming into standing, moving into the Aravot. So we'll do this time a standing reish as we stretch the arms, bring the feet hip width apart, and then start to sway towards the right side for the reish. Inhaling over to the left side, the reish. Sky to the earth. Reish. The movement is like the movement of the Lulav. Into the sky. And so from the sky, let's move into standing bet. High up. And because we are in the season of Sukkot, season of celebration, of dance, let us dance into a standing bet. Into the heart. Lifting left foot, the Vav. And from the Vav alignment, let's do bet on the opposite side, standing bet. Open heart. Exhaling. Inhaling, swooshing forward into the sky. Into the heart. Inhaling, right foot coming into the Vav in the Aravot. And what's missing now is the letter Ayin. So we'll do the Ayin on the ground since we are completing our practice. On an inhale, lift up your heart. Exhale, walking the feet to the back. Pass through the Chaf Sofi. Exhaling. Inhaling, open heart. Exhaling to the ground. So one of the Vav of the Ayin is to stretch your leg and coming into the feeling of the ayin. The vision pose, the vision letter on the exhalation for the aravat. Moving over to the opposite, stretching into the sky. Exhaling, twisting. Coming onto our belly. Hands together in prayer. The final pose will be the letters that spell Sukkah. So we'll try to do Samech. Start to pull towards the hands. Action will be to roll over to the left side. Coming back. Give it a lift for the Sukkah. Exhaling. Opposite side. Letting go. On an inhale, let's lift up because the Sukkah has the down dog or the plank. So we feel the plank pose for a moment and enjoy a beautiful chaturanga on the ground. Opening the heart, exhaling into child. There is a posture around that symbolizes the haze by stretching your leg out to the side as we stretch with the right arm into the sky. Exhaling, swooshing to the inside. And then inhaling again into the sky. Exhaling, fingers to the ground. Let's do the opposite side. On an inhale, reaching high. And coming over. Exhaling again into the sky. And then exhaling, releasing, knees, everything, our hearts to the seed, remembering that everything exists within the seed of the heart. And so we'll finish the last pose to be a wheel. Not that the wheel is in any of the letters that spell the words we did today, but the wheel is the letter Chet, and Chet is all about vitality, Chayut. And so when this holiday comes in, it's all about expanding the vitality within by connecting to the nature of the world. Coming on backs. Hip width apart, lifting up the hips, hands behind you. Fingers pointing to the shoulders. Whenever you're ready, inhale. Exhale. Letting go. Knee the heart, coming into a happy baby. And then letting go as we stretch our legs. And the belly, the inner alignment, aligned. Perfect. As we draw in all directions, knowing that everything is positive, understanding, sink into your body. Stay as you connect to your heart, to your body. I'm going to move into a seated pose. And continue to breathe and to see your body as your dwelling. Possibly a temporary dwelling that will endure 100, 120 years, but comes back into this body, comes back into this world to create and recreate what needs to be cultivated. And so, wishing you beautiful holidays and so much blessing for light, love, and peace in all ways. Thank you. Shalom. Thank you.